In this episode, I share a powerful dream that made me reflect on the tension many of us feel between safety and stepping into our bigger vision. Part of us wants stability and certainty, while another part knows we're capable of something more. Through this dream and the reflections that followed, I explore the relationship between fear, courage, and trust, and how learning to listen to every part of ourselves can help us move forward with greater confidence and alignment. Welcome to You Matter, I Matter, a transformational podcast about reconnecting with what truly matters. I'm your host, James, and each week is an opportunity to explore a little bit deeper who you really are. With amazing guests, we explore topics such as purpose, connection, commitment, and what it really means to live more consciously. If you've been feeling disconnected from yourself, from others, or from life, you're in the right place. Join us on You Matter, I Matter. Now, let's begin. The other night, I had this dream that I was driving along a road. I think it was a dual carriage road. And there was these bumps in the road. And the first couple, I made a little bit of air. And then suddenly, there was this big one, which I saw came out of nowhere. And literally, the front of the car went up and my back end came over. And I somersaulted across and went down the verge of the road. And I remember the car rolling down the hill and getting wedged on a tree. Now, this is like quite a steep bank that went down for quite a long way. And at the bottom, there was a ravine into a river. And I remember waking up, and at that moment, I went to settle a few things, and then I came back and dreamt that I went straight into the water. On all these occasions, I remember that I survived. The one where I hit into the tree and the one where I ended up in the water to manage to swim out and lay on the top of the car. For me, I remember this really, really clearly. And it represents basically I'm scared. There's a part of me that is aiming towards this big vision, this big dream of mine, and I want to accomplish great things in this life. And there's part of me that is really, really scared about doing this, because when you are in a steady job and you know what's going to happen, there's stability. And when there's stability, you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you don't have to go and do things which are quite scary. And so there's this part of me that wants to stay stable, wants to have this stability, and doesn't want to progress. But then there's also a big part of me that does. And so the reason I want to talk about this is because sometimes in life, to get to where we want to get, it is scary. It requires doing some really, really big things. And within these big things, there's always situations or circumstances or people that come into your life that require us to have the courage to accomplish it. Yes, we can still be scared. I was just thinking the other day that every time I do a speaking event, whether it's for 10 people, 50 people, 100, 500, or every time I do a podcast episode, I still get, and I'm still having a little bit of fear. I still get anxious. The only difference is I allow myself to do it while I might be a little bit anxious or a little bit fearful. I just have the courage to step into it and do it anyway. And this reinforces my ability to build confidence. As a child, we might get told that we're not good enough, or we can't do that. You can't do that because it's not for you. And throughout life, we have situations, challenges, people which reinforce this. So if we want to change our life, then we need to step into situations which might be, our body might be telling us that we can't do it. But when we start to have the courage and take the tiny steps to accomplish this, we can reinforce that a belief that we can, that we are confident, that we are worthy, we are good enough, we are clever, we can do this. And this is so, so important. So even though I had this dream and there's part of me that's scared, there's also part of me that's got the courage to step into it. And this part of me that's scared is only there to protect me. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to channel both parts. I wanted to channel the part of me that's scared and see what wisdom comes through. And I want to channel the part of me that has the courage to step into my biggest vision and see what kind of wisdom comes from there. Hello, James. I am the part of you that is here to protect. The part of you that is here to put the brakes on. The part of you that, as you so called, is the fearful. The part of you that really wants that to be stable, wants to be protected, wants to be safe. And I just want to let you know that I'm not here to stop you. I'm here to let you know that there are parts of yourself that require a bit of love, requires a sense of protecting, a sense of really holding on to the brakes, but in a way where you are also hitting the accelerator. And by being able to allow these parts of you to know that these parts are loved, these parts are seen, these parts are heard, can go a long way with kind of protecting how fast you can progress down your path. There is part of you that our natural instinct is to be safe, because if we step out, we could have been isolated from the tribe and we could have died. That's being worst case scenario. And so there is part of you that really wants to be accepted as part of the tribe. So you have all these different parts of yourself: happiness, joy, excitement, sadness, grief, anger, safety, unsafety. And by knowing that you are there to accept and to love and to allow these parts to be seen, you are able to allow these parts to know that they are part of your tribe. They are part of who you are. And by knowing that they are part of who you are and they're part of the tribe, they can have the idea that they are 100% accepted. And once they know they're accepted, they can step into themselves fully. And by accepting themselves fully and you seeing this as yourself, you can then align these parts with this like a car. So you'd see yourself. So I use the analogy of the car rolling. When you push these parts away, when you don't accept or you don't acknowledge or they aren't seen, they almost feel like they're going to crash. They're going to crash and burn and perish. But at the same time, if you allow these parts to be seen and heard, suddenly they will help you put your foot on the accelerator and you'll go faster and faster and faster, but you'll be safe, you'll be protected, you'll be seen. And so by acknowledging these parts and being like now, you are hearing me. And so if you allow yourself to hear these parts that feel not protected, not seen, not heard, suddenly that when you do hear them, they'll be like, James loves me and he's going to protect me and he's going to be there for me and he's going to help me to progress. And so then we can all progress. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm very, very grateful that you actually take the time and effort to hear this message, to hear this channeling, to hear this part of you that really wants to be seen fully and dearly. So thank you. So there have it. There's a key message in that channeling from the part that wants to hit the brakes, that doesn't feel stable, is that we go through life and quite often we aren't really conscious of all these different parts of ourselves. And so by understanding that we have all these parts and then acknowledging when perhaps we might feel a little bit down, you might feel a little bit anxious or fearful, and just by taking the time to connect with that part, we can acknowledge it, we can allow it to be seen. And so this part then feels part of the tribe and will work alongside you rather than against you. So rather than, it's the analogy, you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So in this case, if you allow yourself these parts to be seen and heard, it'll be 3 steps forward, no steps back, because suddenly every part is part of the tribe. Another part that has come through this dream is trust. And so trust has been a big part of my journey the past year. The past year, trust has been a huge thing, and it's only been the last 2 or 3 months where I really, really allow myself to focus and to really to go into the frequency of trust and to embrace trust in a whole new level. That's me. And one of the lessons I've learned from trust is that trust isn't something outside ourselves. Trust begins from inside ourselves, from the inside out. So what do I mean there? So from my own experience with trust, I've come to realize that everything, and I think I've talked about this before, everything's a frequency. And so asking myself, where in my body do I feel the trust frequency? And at this moment, I feel it's in my left chest. And it's about allowing myself to sit in that frequency of trust so that I can embody it. It's great. It's great having this idea of trying to think, what is trust? Trying to intellectually think about what trust is. But when we embody it, we actually, we embrace it to a whole new level. I feel like intellectually you can only get so far. Whereas if you embody it, you are on that journey of discovering trust more and more deeper, and realizing that trust is something so extraordinary. And recently, I felt like trust has taken me to a whole new level of faith. And I'm not going to talk much about faith because I'll talk about faith in another episode, but the last 2-3 weeks, there's been a huge focus on faith. And not faith as in religion, but faith as in having that deep trust in ourselves, or that deep trust in knowing that everything's going to work out. And whatever we set ourselves tasks to, I'm going to have faith, deep trust that it's going to work out. And so I'm going to quickly channel a message from trust and see what comes up and see what comes out of this. So, firstly, I want to say thank you for acknowledging me. And I know you acknowledge trust and myself a lot. And it's within this trust that you are able to really explore yourself and others truly, rather than trying to intellectually think about trust in a way that, kind of is limited, has a limited point of view, because the brain is only limited to what we can think. Whereas when you embody it, you can explore it in a whole different level. You can embody it on such a different way to intellectually trying to think about it. And so from my own perspective or realization, whatever you want to use, I've come to realize that the more that you embrace trust, the more that you embrace yourself, the more that you embrace the world as one and all. So that, what I mean by that, I mean that you are everything. So you are yourself, you are the other person, you are the world is you, the other person is you, you are you. So everything's connected. When you embrace that connection, you are able to create a trust so strong that it is beyond the level of human comprehension. We have never been in a time like now where we can explore things so deep and so trusting that it's phenomenal. It's exponential. And so I feel like we are stepping into a phase of our lives where we can trust everything because we trust ourselves. We embody it. We are it. And that is the key to living a life of joy, of happiness, of peace, is to embody these things, to embody trust, to embody peace, to embody happiness, to embody courage, to embody yourself. And that is the key. And that is what I want to bring. That's the message I want to bring to you today. The message of trust. For me, the deeper meaning of this episode is represented through, obviously, the dream of the car crash. But in every scenario, I survive. Even though things might go wrong, I might have challenges, I might have things which go bad, I might have death case scenarios. In every scenario, I survive, and I can survive through every challenge that comes my way. And the fact that trust comes later on is to trust yourself, to know that you can overcome all these different things in your life. So it kind of represents all the different challenges that I might have along my path towards my dream, and being able to trust and know that regardless of whatever happens, whatever I come up against, I can get through this. I can trust myself to know that I have the answers. I can meet the people. I can meet the world in a whole different perspective and be able to come out the other side glorious in whatever way that comes out. And even if things don't come out as I planned, there's always a reason. And what can I take away? What can I trust has happened and be able to see that can help me to progress in a way that I've never seen myself? So there we go. There's a dream and how much we can get from our dreams. And so, thank you for listening. If you felt this really helped you, then send me comments. Help me out by sending me a message, because the more that I know what people like, what people want, the more I can create episodes on that. And also, if you felt this was good for you, then maybe you can send this to a friend. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. If something in today's conversation resonated, take a moment to sit with it. And if you feel called, share this episode with someone who might need it too. You Matter, I Matter is a growing space. And if you'd like to stay connected, you're welcome to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps this work to reach people it's meant for. These conversations matter. You matter, I matter. Until next time, take care of yourself and the relationships in your life.